Welcome to Conversations Live, where we bring you the best in music, books, entertainment, and more. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 16 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. I'm really excited to welcome Richie Pryor to our program today. He's an individual who's been able to do amazing work as an author, as a life coach and entrepreneur. I want to talk to Richie not only about the journey that he's been on, but also what it's been like for him to share that journey with all of you. He and I met because of a mutual friend, someone who's been a regular on our program, Evan Carmichael. We'll talk to Richie about the impact that Evan has had on him and also what it's been like for him to meet other entrepreneurs along the way. Richie, hello to you, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Cyrus, for having me. This is fantastic.
Hey, man, glad to have you on with us. So I want to begin where I've been asking a lot of guests now as we're kind of getting ready to say goodbye to this year and get ready for the new year. What has it been like for you, Richie, to be able to reflect on 2019 and all the great things that's come your way?
So 2019's been a fantastic year. It's been a year of empowerment for myself and for the clients that I serve. I published my first book back in March, Warriors of Life, and I'm just so grateful for this year. It's been truly fantastic.
So I guess, the question for those who are just now discovering you, Richie, and of course we're going to let our audience know how to stay connected with you, is the why. I mean, I know for Evan Carmichael, he talks about his one word. What was it about you that said, you know what, I want to make life more than about me. I want to be able to help other people.
Yeah. Okay, so you ever have a time, Cyrus, when life is perfect? You feel like you're on top of the world. Everything is going right. You're hitting on all cylinders. You ever have a time like that?
Yes.
So I had that time back in May 26, 2015. My wife and I took my sons, Matthew and Richie, to Hawaii to celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary and renew our vows. And it was just a magical moment. And that's at that time, in that place and time, I felt like I was on top of the world. Business was great. Great family. We were doing all the things we loved. And then 41 days later, I got a call from my younger son saying that he was at my older son's house, Richie, and he wasn't responding. And my wife and I kind of hoping for the best, but we knew our son knew what he was talking about, and we went over his house, our older son's house, Richie, and he had passed away in his sleep. So that kind of really blew us away. I mean, my wife and I were just, and my other son, Matt, it just destroyed our entire life, our entire existence, lost all kinds of hope, never had hope again. I spent a year and a half just depressed, drinking, and any kind of medications, antidepressants that my doctor could give me, I was taking. I wanted to be numb, and I didn't want reality, so I wanted an escape. So I did that for about a year and a half, and just didn't care. I had days when I wish a building would fall on me. The pain was so tremendous. It's like a knife in your heart every second, every minute of the day. That's all you think about. And so I did that for a year and a half, just wallowed and just, walked the face of the earth watching my life as a movie, and I didn't care about anybody, anything. I really didn't care about my business anymore, and I just lost it all. And one day I saw a big billboard, this seminar in Boston. I was going to get to meet Tom Brady and take a picture with him, and I had a great experience 6 months before my son passed. We all were together. We watched the Super Bowl. The Patriots won, and it was just a magical experience. So I said, okay, let me go to this event, take a picture with Tom Brady, and tell him that I appreciate that. They did that because it was a special moment for me and my sons. And long story short, I never ended up getting the picture. It was kind of not really told to everybody that it was time for picture taking. So I never got my picture taking. But then the next person that got up on the stage said two things to the audience that changed my life in that moment. And he said, what you focus on and the meaning you give to things will change your world. And in that moment, I understood that what I was focusing on was just the horror of, Richie's passing and his death, and the meaning I gave to it, that I was a bad father, that I did something wrong. But in that moment, in that seminar, I found a little bit of hope. And once I had that, I knew that I had to change the focus and meaning of my life. And I knew Richie's passing had to mean something special. And what I took from that was that I'm here on this earth to help other parents with challenges in life, if they ever lose a child, with any kind of stress, because we only get to do this once.
Right.
And I just want to be there, and that's my reason why. Because I could have two conversations when I meet my son again. The first one could be, Dad, I gave you this opportunity to change the world, and you blew it because you were depressed and you had a lot of self-pity. Or two, Dad, you kicked butt. I am so proud of you. You helped so many people on this world, and you made a difference.
Right.
So I did this. I want to make my son proud of me every minute of the day. So that's why I'm a parent coach, and I started a foundation in Richie's name to help disabled children, provide technology to disabled children. So that's my why.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us, Richie. And I think, too, by your sharing here and also in platforms like you do with Instagram, we're going to talk about that platform, I think definitely allows people to know two things. One, they're not by themselves, but also what they can be able to overcome. And I love the fact that as you were talking about it, even though there's pain there and there's hurt and there's sadness, but there's also purpose. And that's one of the things that I noticed when I was prepping for your segment. You wrote the book. I know it's on your website, and we're going to be letting our audience know When Parents Fail, Children Lose, House Rules of Harmony. You talk a lot about sharing, and you do this a lot through your social media. Have you found, especially Instagram, you're being able to talk these things out? It's not only great for the audience, but also great for you.
Oh, yes. It's so healing. I mean, when I wrote my first book, I wrote it mostly for me to get it out on paper. And now I have Instagram, and it's so powerful. And, I mean, I'm getting direct messages a couple of times a week, parents saying, oh, my God, this is so refreshing. I needed this. Thank you for sharing this. And I feel as though I'm sharing my experience and my wisdom with others to help them on their parenting journey. So Instagram has been just an incredible platform for that. Videos and my pictures and my chalkboards, that I call them, with tips for parents. So amazing, Instagram.
Yeah. So, you talked about those words that encouraged you. I mean, I think, sharing is not the easiest thing, especially for us guys, Richie, I mean, it's difficult for us sometimes to be able to let people in. I mean, as far as the therapy goes, I love the fact that you're also able to share the great times, right? And to be able to allow people to know what's possible. Even when you were going through those dark moments, when you kind of reflect back on it now, do you think one of the reasons why you've had such a great year that you mentioned, in 2019, is because you've been able to make this bigger than you?
Oh, most definitely. I have such a higher purpose now, Cyrus, that nothing's going to stop me. And as far as sharing, guys out there, go get a therapist if you need it. Share, be vulnerable. Women think it's sexy as hell, too. So be vulnerable and get it off your chest. I think as guys, we hold it in so much, and I couldn't heal until I started releasing it. I mean, if I didn't have my therapist, she saved my life.
Yeah. And I love the fact, too, one of my classmates from school recently shared something on her platform as Facebook, Richie, that she uses a lot to share with her community. And she found out that her son, and she's a very big health advocate and, always trying to help other people. She found out that her son had begun vaping. And you actually, it was so interesting for me, after you and I had scheduled this interview, you had done a video also about this topic. These are not easy things, and I'm not a parent myself, Richie, so I always hesitate in being able to give advice for people. I do, however, defer to people like yourself and others who have been through the experience, who can then share and then let the audience decide. Do you think what you shared in that post, and I definitely invite our audience to go and watch Richie's video? Do you think it shows the importance of the choice, that you can choose to react this way and this be the result, or you can choose this way and hope for this result? Do you think that we need to spend more time talking about the choice?
Oh, most definitely. So parenting advice, we're all unique individuals, Cyrus. So when I say something, I'm just saying it from my own perspective. So I try to empower parents to help them, because we all have the answers inside of us. And I think it has to be a choice, because when our kids get older, into their adolescence and teenage years, they're going to do whatever they want to do anyway. So it's our choice to whether we say, okay, I'm going to let it go and let them do that so they'll love me, or take a stand and be firm about it, and they're going to do it anyway and still hate me. So I think it's a choice, and it's in that core of our parenting that, do you want to push a kid away because they're vaping? Because they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think that's it. I mean, being able to realize that choice and knowing, of course, how you can be a part of their support, and being able, of course, to let them know, the what's out there and what the consequences can be, but then realizing that they have to make the choice at the end. So what has it been like for you then, Richie, to see the response? I mentioned that you and I connected through Evan Carmichael, someone who's been doing amazing work, and definitely shout out to Evan. I mean, what has it been like for you to not only to have realized that you're helping people, but also the community that you're building in the process?
Oh, it's, Cyrus, I spent 2 years trying to figure my stuff out after I lost my son. And I went to all these seminars, spent a year on the road, and still couldn't figure it out. I went to Evan, and in 3.5 days, I figured it all out. And Evan, and I wrestled with my one word, and I found my one word there, and my one word is hope. Because that's the one thing I lacked when I lost my son. I had no hope. Now I give hope to others, and Evan was the one that helped me find that. God bless him, and he showed me about Instagram and just thought leadership, and my life changed. It was only 2.5 months ago my life changed, being with Evan.
And I think, he is definitely an individual. He will be able to, I think, to support you, but also to push you. I had a conversation with another individual who was a part of your class of the Thought Leadership Academy, Richie, and, Evan has not had the easiest of years as well. Anyone who's followed him on social media knows that, but he still finds a way to say it's the best. Is that one of the things that you've been able now to realize, too, as you've kind of come out the other side of your own, grief and despair, that as long as you're here, that there's still opportunity there?
Of course. And his one word is believe. And if you don't believe, I mean, what else is there? Just like I say, if you got no hope, it's just, what's the point of this all? It's just very emotional.
Yeah. It really is. And I think, too, for our audience out there, for them to be able to realize what is possible. But, again, taking that first step is really the key, Richie, and that's what I want to end with. What would you say to our audience about the importance of just starting? You got to a place where you realized that you had to move. What would you say to them about the importance of making that decision for themselves? So
the first thing is, don't overthink it. I speak to so many parents, and they think, 45 years down the road, 150 steps. Step one, what's one thing I can do today? one step and build upon that. Don't think 2 or 3, just one. One thing you can do right now to change your life, and start there.
There you go. And you're hearing it from someone who definitely knows firsthand. Again, everyone, Richie Pryor has been our guest. He's a life coach and author and entrepreneur who's been able to do some amazing things, a lot of great resources he's been able to share, including, of course, through his Instagram. So, Richie, how can our audience stay connected with you, man?
You can, my website, richiepryor.com, RICHIEPRYOR.com. And for all those listeners out there, you can get my free book, Guide When Parents Fail, Children Lose, House Rules of Harmony, A Parent's Guide to Help the Family Win. Thank you so much, Cyrus. This has been fantastic.
Well, look, man, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make it a great one.